Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Real Fit Pros. It's your boy, Jonathan Loudermilk, with the host with the most and his co-pilot, his partner in crime, Mark, the fitness ninja Zalmanoff. And before we kick off this episode, which we got some cool stuff we're going to share with you, some stories and some lessons, I need you to do all the things that us podcasters need you to do. And those things are like, subscribe, leave us a review, screenshot this if you're watching this and tag us at the Fit Pro Bros on Instagram so that we can help more Fit Pros go get what they're worth. With that being said, I'm going to pass the baton off to my main man, Mark. What's going on, brother?
What's happening, man? Just another lovely day in paradise. You know, the sun is shining. The temps are getting a little bit more bearable to be outside.
Dude, Ugg boots and pumpkin spice lattes are everywhere now.
Well, you know what? You know it's fall when the pumpkin spice protein starts getting advertised. Because I've already seen it. Like First Form's got theirs out. I think they got pumpkin protein bars. Like when the hell did this start where everything was pumpkin?
I'd blame Starbucks.
But probably.
I think Starbucks was the pioneer that was like, there's a massive market for the pumpkin flavored industry. And now everyone's like, I want to do pumpkin flavor.
Man, it's great. But I will say though, like their pumpkin bread's legit.
Dude, it's great. It's funny. I'll joke with my wife and, she's half Puerto Rican, half white, but I always talk about in the fall season, her white side comes out because she's all like pumpkin spice. Oh my God. And blankets.
No, it's good, man. You know, it's fun to see some of the coaches that we've been working with, like find their voice lately, really embrace this time of year because it begins, it's a busy time of year right now. And before we know it, we're going to be in what I like to call eating season. Yep. So if you're a coach and you're listening to this, eating season is coming. It's our time to shine. And, we'll probably do a couple podcasts about money, but, people spend money this time of year, so don't be afraid to go ask for it. But absolutely, we got I think John's got a good story for us today.
Yeah. So if you're just tuning in, we did an episode with Neil Spruce. If you don't know who Neil Spruce is, he is literally the GOAT in the fitness industry. So make sure you scroll back and check out that episode. But he shared a story that unlocked a whole section that apparently I had blocked out of my memory for probably good reasons, where he brought up this instance where he was speaking in front of a crowd. He's doing a nutrition lecture or a business entrepreneur, probably a little bit of all of that. And they had a member come in and they ended up like the GM and that member ended up getting in like a fist fight or something. They're like, this is way back in the old school days where like, that's how you handled your problems. There was no HR. You went around the back in the parking lot, and you handled it like men, right? So with that being said, this has unlocked a whole set of stories that I'm going to be able to share with you. So I'm going to share one. It has nothing to do with the theme of the episode. I just thought it was a pretty funny story. So I'm running this gym and they've got this like underground kind of feel, because when you walk in from the side, you've got like the lobby and you've got the guest check-in area, you've got the cardio. But when you actually go down into the weight section, you go down the stairs, you go around, it's always tucked in the corner where the actual like real weights are, like the 100-pound dumbbell plus and all the heavy plates and things like that. Well, anyway, it was a pretty strong bodybuilding gym culture. And these guys were like, dude, they're definitely taking steroids, like without a doubt. These guys are monstrous, got the back acne, the whole nine. But there was a whole crew of them, man. There's like 12 or 15 dudes that are always kind of working out in the same time. And, they obviously built some familiarity and, I'd see them in there basically every day at the same time. So I was like, okay, cool. That's Fred, that's Bob, that's Alan, whoever. Well, anyway, I was in my office, which it seems like every time shit went down, Mark, I was always in my office, like just doing business stuff. Right. But I heard some commotion going on. Once again, I saw a bunch of staff running by, and that's always the kind of the indicator that shit's going down. Got to check out what's going on. So I pop out there and I look. And I shit you not, there were these two massive behemoths of men. They look like Hulk and Thor going at it, like which one's the more alpha of the Avengers. And they were literally throwing 45-pound plates at each other, like Captain America throws his fucking vibranium shield, like throwing it with ease, I might at you. And given, dude, I'm a pretty strong dude. I can pick up 45-pound plate,
Right.
but you're not going to see me throw like a frisbee at my opponent. But these guys were literally throwing heavy weights at each other. And it was one of those instances like, I don't know what to do, man. Like they're destroying the floor of the gym, totally cracked and fucked up, and the plates and all that. But I don't know if I want to go be the guy and play the hero on when I'm the manager of the club. I'm not trying to get killed over some 45-pound dumbbell or plate. These guys are going at it. So I put together a plan with my staff. I go, look, I've watched these guys for months. They don't do any cardio. They're going to gas out in about 2 to 3 minutes. Then that's when we shoot in there. Billy, you take his legs. Susan, you take his other leg. I'm going to grab his arm. And Alan, I need you to get his other arm. And we're going to bring this guy down. And, we're going to calm this situation down. Well, anyway, that didn't play out like that at all. Because all of them were like, yeah, I'm not doing that. You pay me minimum wage to work the floor, Jonathan. I'm not grabbing his arm for $7.25. I'm like, well, fair enough. So they ended up calming down. We ended up walking up there and ended up kind of like calming the situation enough. And we ended up having to like kick them out and get rid of their memberships and all that stuff. But till this day, I still don't know why they were fighting. Because they couldn't even articulate it. It was like grunts and beating their chest, and it was, dude. I think it was something about like they got in a fight about who could lift something more or who was stronger, and that's how this like shit show of a weight throwing fight broke out in the free weight room. So once again, just one of the many shenanigans I've seen through my gym experience days. And that was one of the ones that stood out. So Neil, if you're listening, thanks for the inspiration. I have a whole nother chapter to share on the episode. We're good for the rest of the year now in stories.
So, the funny part about that is if that was what the argument was really about, why didn't they just lift things?
Steroids are a powerful drug.
Yeah, that's true. And then the other thing that comes to mind, we had the AED, every gym's got the AED and, you call the code or whatever.
Yeah.
Y'all really needed like tranquilizer darts or something.
Dude, if they gave me that, I would be so excited. I'd be like, let me do my job. Like, Jonathan, no. I'm like, come on, man. I trained for this. I would do like the blow dart style too, man. Like, the Pikachu in the whatever village out in South America. Like, just tag them.
Now we got to make a skit. Anyway, maybe we can get Kukla back. We'll do a skit with him.
Oh, that would be great. That'd be awesome.
All right. So that's freaking hilarious. I just have this vision in my head of what that looked like. And it's,
dude, I blocked all those out because they were just, I don't know. I guess my brain's like, this is unneeded information. That was a tragic time in your life, Jonathan. We don't need this anymore, but all that got unlocked. So that's like first of like a dozen stories I have for you.
Yeah. So now there's something in your head that probably should have been there that's no longer there, and you'll figure.
Oh yeah, I'm going to forget something else now, which is a fun part about getting older. You got to manage your storage data.
Oh my God. All right. So today, our actual topic, that was actually fun. Our actual topic, we're going to talk a little bit about being an entrepreneur and what that means. So our buddy AJ, who we had on just a few weeks ago, he runs a Facebook group for other fitness professionals as a way to vet coaching programs for fitness business coaching. And, I think in this realm, now obviously John and I are in that realm. We operate Fit Pro Collective, where we help coaches grow their business. But what happens is there's a lot of unrealistic expectations that get laid out. And I think, and John, you can chime in on this. It really goes both ways, right? So you got business coaches like, we'll get you to, 10K months in 30 days. Really? Like, will you really do that? But then on the other side, the coaches having unrealistic expectations of what they can do in that amount of time. And, the entrepreneurial game is hard. Like, shit's hard to run a business by yourself. And when you're talking about, most coaches go through, like, you get your cert and you go work at the gym and you build your clientele and then everything's great. And you're like, I can go do this on my own. And then you leave and you're like, oh shit, where's all the people? right? Because it never pans out the way you want it to.
No.
But then you realize there's all these other obligations that you have that you didn't have before. Now you got to worry about payment processing. Now you got to find a way to market yourself. Now you got to find a way to get in front of more people. Now you got to do bookkeeping. What the fuck? What? I got to figure out taxes? No. So you have 17 other tasks on top of servicing your clients. And people, I think it comes down to expectations and knowing what's really realistic. And I'll let you dive into this. You just commented on that post we saw just a little while ago before we got on here that, the people that really build a business are the ones that don't quit. Mm-hmm. And it's the long game. Like Amazon didn't get built in 6 months. Like Bezos didn't go from, garage to, 200 billion in 60 days.
Yeah. It's a pretty famous photo at this point. Yeah. So,
dig into that side a little bit, Jon, and let's talk about expectations and let's talk about what it really takes to quote unquote make it.
So the first is regardless of whatever route you're going, all of the how and those skill sets like taxes and marketing and all these things that you don't have to necessarily know as an employee, but you need to know as a business owner can all be learned. Some of those ways are paid, some of them are free. God bless the internet, right? So that's where I can tell where someone's not focused on the right things when they're focused on those questions, because that's not actually the secret. If it was, there'd be a lot more successful business owners out there. The secret is in the intention and what you need to understand, whether you set your intention to grow within another organization or if you're wanting to grow starting your own, is knowing that it's going to take the same amount of time and effort, regardless of which one you want to build. What you need to get clear on is what do you really want in the end game? And it's one of the toughest questions you can ask yourself is, what do I really want? And I'm not saying like the thing that comes off title, I want to make 6 figures. No, you don't. Why? What is 6 figures going to give you, by the way, right? When you get that clear on what you want your life to be, and then you understand it's going to take time, commitment, and discipline, whatever direction you go, that's how you can make the decision on whether I need to go this path and starting my own business or grow within this organization. And then all the how and all those skill sets are going to come up. And then that's where you can go learn and develop that side of you. But if you don't have the intention of like, whatever I'm doing is the long game, that's where you're going to get tripped up no matter what strategy or coach or 10K in 30 days or whatever thing you're going to end up going through.
The want question is huge. And we get so skewed, especially growing up, about what we think we want. 6 figures. Okay, well, what does that even mean? What does that do for you? What does that provide you? Does that provide the life that you want? Does it give you everything you want and need? Does it give you freedom? Does it give you time freedom? How do you get there? Is 6 figures 100,000 or 500,000? There's a big difference between those two numbers.
Is it gross or is it profit?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a big difference between who you need to be to generate those two different types of income as well. Mm-hmm. And, I think our generation, at least, we grew up thinking $100,000 was, it's a good living, and it still is. Don't get me wrong. Like if you manage your money well and you make $100,000 a year over and over and over and over again, like you're probably going to have a pretty decent life. Yeah. Life will be good if you're not spending money like an asshole and buying, pussy energy drinks all the time. I think it's our new sponsor, by the way. I think you can really have a great life, and the internet skews so many things too. When you get these guys like, oh, I make 6 figures from my laptop on my beach. Really? Like, how fulfilling is that? And maybe it's totally fulfilling. Maybe it's everything you ever wanted, but history says it's not.
Well, what they don't tell is the story in which they got there, right? Yeah. And I think it comes down to, one of the things I was told early on, which I didn't understand at the moment, I understand now many years later, is you cannot be successful in anything unless you're willing to burn the ships so that you can storm the shore. And what that means is whenever you're keeping a ship available, AKA a plan B or a C or a D, when things get tough, and they always do, you will go back to that ship the first damn chance you get. You have to be willing to burn the ships, whatever you decide you want to do. If you actually want to be able to have the energy and the discipline and the focus to push through whatever that thing is that you're doing, which, it's a lot of what you're going to hear of entrepreneurs, because, basically we're out there with just a bunch of machetes, just cutting down trees, hoping to figure shit out.
Yeah,
That's a sin. Dude, that's basically what we do. Now, some people are a little bit smarter and more methodical, but that's part of being an entrepreneur. You're literally cutting a new path for yourself, right? But you have to have that intention behind that no matter what you do, or it doesn't matter what you learn or who you hire. Like, you're going to fall back flat on your face and you're going to get back on that boat, and then you're going to blame everyone else but yourself. And I've seen it happen dozens and dozens of times. I actually went through that experience myself, and it was a great learning moment, which it sucked going through, Mark. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. But looking back now, if I hadn't gone through that, it wouldn't have helped me push me to who I am today. So I'm grateful for it.
Yeah. When you talk about burning the ships, I think you have to own your decisions. And, when I left, I worked for Lifetime Fitness for about 3.5 years. That's where I built up my clientele. I mean, this was a long time ago. And I left, and, maybe in the back of my head, I knew I could have gone back. Like, if I really wanted to. I left on good terms. They actually let me finish they actually let me put a notice in and finish.
Wow.
Yeah.
You must have really liked you.
Yeah, they did. And then they liked the revenue that I produced too. So I left, for all intents and purposes, I left on good terms. I'm sure, at some point I could have gone back and, if I wanted to be like, hey, can I have my job back? And they were like, yeah, sure. Come on back. But in my head, that was not an option. Like, I made a decision. It's what I wanted, and I pursued it. And that pattern has followed itself throughout my career. So anytime that, I had a partnership with another guy that we owned a gym, and when that, failed and it was time for me to move on, I cut ties and moved on. I didn't drag it out. Obviously I put thought into the decision, but it wasn't something where, we talked about it and we said, we'll keep the door open. No, it was fucking done, go.
Yeah.
And I think, I didn't understand what I was doing at that time. I didn't understand that concept of burning the ships, but I do now. And I look back and see all those pivotal moments that led me to where I am today. Mm-hmm. And so much of it was just knowing that I'm not going back. I'm only going forward.
Right.
Whatever forward means, I'm going to fucking figure it out. And like you said, I'll grab my machete and here we go. Let's chop the way down.
And here's something I'd like for you to share, man, because you've had a really unique story from like those little like mini pit stops you've had along the way. And we were just talking about this too. You get so many coaches when they first start, and they want to walk like into the CEO, and they have a team and they got systems, and dude, that's great. But like, everybody starts at step one. I don't care who you are. Like, unless you're Grant Cardone, I can generate $1 billion by myself within 90 days with no money. Like, you're not Grant Cardone. You're going to start just like everyone else on the ground level. You're not going to have perfect systems. You're not going to have the best first podcast episode. You're not going to have the best first video that you do, but you have to start with the first step so that you can get good over time. And then that's where you start seeing the people where they're having that success and shifts in their life. So anyway, I'd like for you to share, Mark, like those little pit stops, because now you've got an awesome facility that you have. You've got online coaching. You're training. You're literally working with like Navy SEALs and special operators. Like, I want you to rewind time and go back to those little, like almost like Jeff Bezos in his first bookstore, like in his apartment kind of deal. Like, what did that look like for you?
It's thankfully when you get older, you gain some wisdom along the way. And thank God, or at least if you're paying attention,
it's the only benefit of getting older.
A little bit smarter.
A little bit.
The partnership that I had with this other guy, I knew it wasn't working. I was trying to, force the square peg in the round hole. And, again, finally it was just, okay, I have to move on. I didn't have any money. I was miserable. I hated it. I still thank God, I've always loved what I've done, but I just had to go. And so I picked up my stuff, took my clients, and off we went. And, I don't think I've ever known what my end game really is. What I do know is what my purpose is. So you go back to like, what do you want? Well, what I really want is to impact lives, like truly. So when I know that and I see opportunities for me to do that, and it's in alignment with my core values, then I pursue. Simple as that. So, when doors have opened, when partnerships have arrived, when the right people have shown up by accident or by, alignment or whatever, then it makes the decision process easy. Like John, when you and I met and kind of fostered that relationship for a few months, and then COVID hit, and it just made sense for us to team up. It wasn't a hard decision. I didn't have to go talk to anybody about it. It was like, hey, we're both trying to do the same thing in the same industry and help the same people. Well, shit, we can surely help more people together than we can apart.
Yeah.
So I think it's, some of it, you have to trust your instincts. You have to follow that intuition a little bit. Most of the time it's right. But when you know what you want and it aligns with all the things that you've told yourself, it just makes those things easy. And, it's always funny to look back and go, man, I can't believe I made it through that. And I can't believe I made it through this. And but you're here. And if you look, you'll find those little steps. You'll find those mindset shifts. You'll find, I think one of the most pivotal moments for me was, and we're talking 14 years into my career that I identify who I really work with. I mean, that's a long ass time.
Yeah.
But part of it is I had to get older. I had to gain some wisdom. I had to gain my own life experience. And then I had to look around and go, who are these people that are willing to pay me money every month? And while they look like this random bunch of people, there were some very strong similarities. And once I figured that out, then I just attacked it, which is why I have the clientele that I have today. C-level people, business owners, entrepreneurs, get to, like you said, get to work with special ops guys on fun projects and stuff. But all of that's intentional. That didn't happen by accident. There's a lot of things that you can fall into, but when you start honing in on the ideal business that you want to show up for, that is pure intention. I don't know any other way to put it. Even my wife said to me last night, she's like, I'm really proud of you because she always talks about manifestation. She's like, you spoke this into existence. She's like, a couple of years ago, you're like, here's the people I want to work with. And here you are working with all of those people.
Right.
I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool.
Isn't it funny? Like, it's like, you can't connect the dots forward, but you can always do it backwards.
God, amen to that.
Right. But I think it's awesome, man. So it's setting an intention in what you're doing and being willing to start on the step that you're at. Because I see a lot of coaches that because I can't start at this step, then I won't do it. Well, the truth is, it's not because of that. It's because you're scared. Right. And it's okay. Mark, I don't know about you. I wake up every day scared. Difference is I do things about it now.
Yeah. I've said it 1,000 times, like at least a couple times a week. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Yeah, man, dude, if you're not doing it right. If you're not like, okay, let me question some things, but that's the part of the journey and that's part of the ride. And that's part of what you got to fall in love with the process. And I think it's proving to yourself consistently that you do what you say you're going to do. You build up that faith in yourself. And then that's when you realize I don't need to know all these things. Because I know that I have 100% success track record with figuring it the fuck out.
Well, and just like we tell our clients, like they don't need to know everything about fitness and nutrition when they sign up with us.
No.
Like we're just where are you right now? And let's progress you forward. So all those things, like you said, that, taxes and bookkeeping, and I need a website and I got to no, you don't. Do you have something that somebody wants and they'll pay you money for? Then you have a business.
Yeah.
And if you do that and you're willing to get better every day, we talk about 1% better every day, just a little bit. You don't need all the answers in the beginning. You need a product, and you probably need a little bit of insurance and a way to deliver. And that's it. That's all you need. And you can, like you said, all that other stuff, it can be learned, it can be outsourced, but the resources are endless now.
Yep.
There's college professors on YouTube because they can make more money on YouTube ads than sitting in college. So they'll willingly give you their information for free. It's crazy.
Well, dude, we live in an age now where kids, for like career direction, being a YouTuber is what they're picking. That's nuts.
I don't hate it.
Dude, it's just like, what do you want me to grow up? A YouTuber? Huh? That's his thing. That's a career path. And I get someone telling me, I don't know if I can make money online. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. There's like over 2 billion active people on Facebook alone. Once again, most of the time, you don't need that many people to create a lifestyle for yourself. But you got to take the first step, and you got to be willing to take action and go through there. And if you make the decision that no matter what happens, I'm not quitting, that's the exact moment you'll start winning.
And I think too, along the way, and we've seen this with some of the people we work with, is having benchmarks of, I guess an easy way to put it is like the revenue benchmarks are great because a lot of people have that freedom number of like, once I get to, let's say once I get to $5,000 a month, I can quit this other thing.
Yep.
And I think those indicators are huge because it gives somebody a tangible goal to pursue. It gives them a way out of the thing that they hate. Because a lot of people get into fitness, they're doing something else, but their passion is in fitness and they want to build a business. But like you said, they always got this other thing sitting there that's the fallback. It's the safety net. If they can figure out a way to get out of that safety net, a lot of times once they cut ties with that and they're like, oh my gosh, I got 20 more hours I can devote to this. Are you kidding me?
Right. What could you do now?
Double quickly.
Right.
So I think having some benchmarks like that are very, very beneficial in order to kind of break the shackles of all the other things that are pulling you in every other direction and really give you something to shoot for. Because we all like to hit our goals. I mean, there's a reason people make New Year's resolutions, but there's also a reason people don't hit them either.
Right.
Because they're comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yep. And most of the time for people, whether it's fitness or business, like their biggest issue is that they quit. It's not my content's off or my avatar's off. Or it's like, no, you gave up too soon.
You stopped.
You did it for a couple months and go, I didn't make a bunch of money, I'm going to quit. Well, same thing with the person who wants to lose weight. The scale isn't changing, Mark, and I've been doing this for a whole month. When's the last time you worked out again? 15 years ago. Well, it's going to take more than 30 days after 15 years of doing shit you weren't supposed to be doing.
Amen.
Is it going to take 15 years? No, but it's going to take more than 30 days. I can tell you that. And if you just fall in love with the process, the results take care of themselves, and it's having that intention behind everything you do.
And what's for you won't pass you either. And I really, I used to hear that, and I'm like, what does that even mean? And like, well, I think there's a lot of things for me that have passed me, but again, over time, you gain wisdom, like, oh shit, no, I needed to learn those lessons. And, that's probably a good place to kind of start wrapping this conversation up, is that if you want to build a sustainable business, there are lessons to be learned along the way. And this is whatever industry, fitness, anything, real estate, whatever, there's things that you have to learn in order to grow. And those things that you're not going to learn those things in the first 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. Like sometimes it's years in that things start to soak in.
Yeah.
And then you get better, then you grow, because those problems will keep coming up until you figure out how to solve them.
Right. And that's where the power of having a coach or a group, or just making sure that the people in your circle are going to be able to help you along that ride. And that's why you see masterminds and coaches and mentors and things like that. So that's part of where you need to figure out, well, what do I need to get around the right people? Because it will dramatically increase the speed in which you go through things.
Yeah. And, again, obviously we're in that space, but I wish I would have invested in myself years before I started to. I'm fortunate that I did when I did, but had I done it 5 years prior to that, who knows where I'd be right now. But I'm supposed to be right here, right now.
We're here for a reason, man, and we got here how we got here. All we can do is what we do moving forward. So, with that being said, hope y'all got value out of the episode. You enjoyed it. Once again, make sure you like and subscribe. We show up every single week for you. We've been doing this since December. What is that? September? That's like 9 months.
We're gonna have to have like
every week. Huh?
We need like a year anniversary spectacular show.
We will have a special one, but what we show up for you guys 9 months. It's just subscribe and leave us 5-star reviews. We can go help out more of our brothers and sisters go get what they're worth. And with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and hit them with the cutoff line, Mark. As always, keep focused on the long game. That's where the success is, and make sure that you're going out there every day to go get what you're worth. Yeah. Damn good show.
Damn good.
Damn good.